When you think of a snow day, you probably picture a cozy fire, a warm drink, and a beautiful white blanket covering everything outside. It's serene, peaceful, almost magical. But what happens when that idyllic scene is shattered by an infrastructure failure? What happens when the power goes out, the water stops flowing, and the roads become impassable? Suddenly, that beautiful snow turns into a hostile environment, hiding dangers you might never have considered. Today, we're going to pull back that pristine white curtain and expose the hidden threats that lurk beneath the drifts when society's support systems break down. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about being aware and prepared, so you can keep yourself and your loved ones safe. First, let's talk about the most immediate and obvious danger: the cold. Without electricity, your primary source of heat is gone. A well-insulated modern home can hold its temperature for a while, but over hours and days, it will inevitably drop to match the freezing temperatures outside. Hypothermia becomes a very real and present danger, especially for the very young, the elderly, or those with medical conditions. It's a silent creeper. You might just feel a bit tired or sluggish at first, but as your core body temperature drops, confusion sets in, your movements become clumsy, and eventually, it can be fatal. Layering clothes is your first line of defense, but what you might not think about is the moisture. Even a little bit of sweat from exertion can make you colder once you stop moving. Staying dry is just as critical as staying warm. Now let's look outside. That smooth, unbroken expanse of snow looks like a perfect winter wonderland, but it's a master of disguise. What's underneath? You have no idea. Curbs, potholes, garden gnomes, forgotten toys, or even open manholes could be hiding just inches below the surface. A simple walk to your neighbor's house could result in a sprained ankle, a broken leg, or a serious fall. The risk is even greater at night. With streetlights out and a heavy cloud cover blocking the moon, visibility drops to near zero. You're literally walking blind, and if you get injured, who's going to help? With roads blocked, emergency services might not be able to reach you. A minor injury that would normally be a quick trip to urgent care can suddenly become a life-threatening situation. The snow also hides more insidious threats, particularly after a few days. Let's consider sanitation. If the power is out, the municipal water and sewer systems may fail. Your toilets won't flush, and your taps will run dry. People will be forced to find alternative ways to deal with human waste. Some might bury it in the snow. While this seems like a temporary solution, it creates a massive biohazard. When the snow eventually melts, all of that waste contaminates the ground and the local water supply. This can lead to outbreaks of diseases like cholera, dysentery, or E. coli. What started as a pristine winter landscape can quickly become a toxic mess. Even melting snow for drinking water, which seems like a great survival tip, is risky. You have no idea what pollutants from the air, or what contaminants from the ground, have been trapped in that snow. It must be boiled thoroughly to be safe. Then there are the structural dangers. Snow is heavy, really heavy. A cubic foot of light, fluffy snow can weigh around 7 pounds. But if it gets wet and compacted, that weight can shoot up to over 20 pounds. Now, imagine that weight accumulating on your roof, foot after foot. Most residential roofs are built to handle a certain snow load, but an unusually heavy storm or a prolonged period of accumulation can exceed that limit. You might hear groaning or creaking sounds from your ceiling or attic. Doors and windows might become difficult to open or close because the frame is being distorted by the weight. These are all warning signs of a potential roof collapse, a catastrophic event that can happen with little to no final warning. Flat roofs, porches, and carports are especially vulnerable. Beyond your own home, the entire landscape becomes treacherous. Down power lines are a huge one. A live wire can be completely hidden by a snowdrift. They don't always spark or buzz, but they can carry a lethal charge. The assumption must always be that any downed line is live. The snow can also muffle sounds, making it harder to hear approaching vehicles if any are even moving, or the cracking of a tree branch that's about to give way under the weight of ice and snow. Speaking of trees, widowmakers are a real thing. These are large, heavy branches that have been damaged by the storm and are just waiting for a gust of wind or a bit of melting to send them crashing down. Standing under a tree for shelter could be a fatal mistake. Another hidden danger is carbon monoxide. When the power goes out, people get desperate for heat. They might bring in a barbecue grill, a propane heater, or run a generator inside their garage or near a window. This is an absolute recipe for disaster. These devices produce carbon monoxide, an odorless, colorless gas that can kill you in your sleep. Without a working carbon monoxide detector, which is usually battery-powered, you would have no idea it's building up in your home until it's too late. The symptoms: headache, dizziness, nausea are often mistaken for the flu. People go to lie down, thinking they're just feeling unwell, and never wake up. It is a silent killer, born from a desperate attempt to stay warm. Let's not forget about our animal friends, or not so friendly friends. A deep snowpack can change animal behavior. Wildlife, driven by hunger, may venture closer to homes than they normally would. A desperate deer can be unpredictable, and predators like coyotes or even bears in some areas might see your home and your pets as a potential source of food. They can move silently through the snow, and you might not be aware of their presence until it's too late. The familiar becomes unfamiliar, and the wild comes right to your doorstep. So what does all this mean? It means that in a grid-down winter scenario, the snow itself becomes an obstacle and a threat multiplier. It isolates you, it hides dangers, it compromises your sanitation, and it threatens the very structure you're sheltering in. Being prepared isn't just about having extra food and water. It's about understanding these hidden dangers. It's about having a plan for off-grid heating and cooking that is safe. It's about having a way to purify water. It's about knowing the warning signs of a roof under stress and being cautious of every single step you take outside. The beauty of snow is undeniable, but when the systems we rely on fail, its hostile side is revealed. Knowing the risks is the first step to surviving them. Thank you so much for watching. We hope this gives you a new perspective on winter preparedness. Stay safe, stay warm, and be aware of what lies beneath the snow. If you found this information helpful, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on how to stay safe in a changing world. We'll see you in the next video.